Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Artist Spotlight with me, Jacqueline Norton of Authentic Artists and Orient. Tonight, I have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Chris Keats to the Artist Spotlight. I've known Chris for some time, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
So, Chris, the way this normally goes is we're just going to have a chat, and I'd like you to start by introducing yourself to everyone, what you do, and where are you, and all that stuff.
Okay, cool. So my name's Chris Keats. I perform using my surname, which is Keats. I'm a folk singer-songwriter from Brighton originally, but I'm currently in Valencia, Spain. And the reason I want to be, the reason I wanted to sing and play the guitar is to heal myself, because I've always thought music is better than therapy. Has been for me. No offense to my therapists, but I also want to, but I also want to offer that healing to other people. So, like, I've done a lot of healing through the years through music, and now I just want to present that to people in a way that's useful for them, as they're on their journey.
No, absolutely. And I think that came out loud and sort of clear in our discussions, right? Because we started working together. It's quite a while ago now, and we had a few sessions. Is there anything you want to share about how that came about, and what made you feel like you needed a coach?
I just got to that point where I think lots of people get to, and I won't swear, I was frustrated with my ability to manage my music business. I just got to that point. Like, I need to do something differently. I've been trying to do it on my own for a long time. I need a coach. I need help. And then obviously we knew each other a little bit beforehand. I saw a little bit of your social media post, and I was like, that's the person that can help me move this forward. So it's frustration. Ultimately, that's like, right, I'm here. I don't like where I am. I want to be here. So I reached out to you and said, hey, can we work together?
Because we'd met, I think, at a conference, hadn't we? Probably the Songwriting Academy.
BBC Music Introducing in 2019.
Yeah, right.
I think. Yeah. I remember you spoke about Ben Howard and Star Wars, and I was in. It's like, Ben Howard, Star Wars, perfect.
Absolutely. Right, because you're a guitarist, right? And that's
exactly. I'm a big Ben Howard fan, and I'm also a massive Star Wars fan. So yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's dig into that a little bit more, because you said you were frustrated with the business side of your music. So what was happening? What was not happening that you wanted to fix?
That's a good question. I didn't really have a plan. Like, I've always known I wanted to be a professional musician. I always knew that I was good, well, not always, but for a long time, that I can sing and play the guitar and write songs. And that was like bubbling along nicely. And then I realized that my ability to, get raving fans or push my career forward, not just in a financial sense, but in a financial sense, was being hampered by the fact that I didn't have the knowledge. And I didn't have the knowledge to then apply the knowledge to make it a business. I mean, when you first started coaching me, I didn't have a business account. Now, when I think back to that, I'm like, well, I didn't know what I didn't know. I needed some direction. I needed some external accountability, but some direction for someone that knew a lot more than me. And it was just like, through trying to do it myself and just getting so annoyed, I was like, no, now is the point. I need help.
Yeah. Well done for, recognizing that. And that particular point, you'd be surprised how many people are the same.
Yeah.
One of those real fundamentals that, if you've got all your expenses for your business mixed in with your grocery shopping and all that other stuff, it's a real mess. And it's not just that you've got to sort it out for the tax man or your accounts. It's the fact that you don't feel like you own a business, and you always feel like you're kind of feeding this machine of a music thing that you're trying to do something with. But, there is a mindset around that that's very, very important. And that's what we just implemented a few basic things as well initially, just to get you in a different mindset to thinking about the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And to shift my mindset and to give me some tools I could use going forward, like the 10th of the month and 25th of the month for accounting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that principle, just either every week or every other week, have an accounting appointment in your diary to look at your money.
Yeah.
And as we all know, if you don't pay attention to your money and you ignore your money, just like if you ignore a friend, they don't hang around.
No.
Neither does your money.
No.
So you've got to look after it, and that doesn't mean being obsessed with it or caring about it too much, but you've got to care a bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That whole idea of I'll be an artist and the business and everything will sort itself out. As an independent artist doing it on my own is not true, is it? It's great, like, to have a manager or someone. You have someone that's really good at the business, and then I could just do the creative. If they're really good at it, that would be great. But if someone has to be doing it, I keep reading that. Someone has to be doing the marketing, someone has to be doing the promotion, someone has to be running the business. And if it's one person, i.e. me, then I have to do it all for the moment,
Yeah, but I also think that when you get a team, how are you going to know what you want them to do or understand what they do if you haven't started doing it yourself, or at least got to grips with what do you want? Because there's a million ways of cutting that, kind of those business roles up, and any business can be littered with people who have fallen foul of the fact they didn't understand a part of the business that was really critical for them to, and either got ripped off or lost money or not seeing things happening which they ought to have been paying attention to. And and it's not an easy thing for for a lot of people, including myself. I mean, we all have to stay vigilant, and that's why it's important to be on top of certain things so that you do know what's going on. And then when you as the CEO of your business,
Chris Keats music,
hire somebody to help you. I mean, this is the thing with managers, right? Managers get a slice of what you bring in. They work for you, not the other way around. And I think, the fact that dynamic is, if when it works well, it's brilliant. But you do need to understand what is it your manager doing for you? What are the things that they will take off your plate and help you to be creative, but you still can't abdicate everything.
No.
Right?
I wouldn't want to, like, as my team grows, I want to have hands in all the pies. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to have people come into my team who are much better at it, but they're going to teach me how to do it as well. I don't want to be a guy that just like runs off into a cottage in the middle of Spain and writes songs. Like, I want to be in it.
Yeah, and it can be really fun, actually. It's a good thing to understand, because your career will morph and take many shapes as you go through life, and sometimes you will have a team and sometimes you won't, and you'll have to maybe pick up some of those threads when team members leave, right? A lot.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And you've got to hand it over to somebody else or back to you, and you really need to kind of get to grips with that. So that's great. That's one thing. Anything else that you want to kind of talk about? Because we talk about money, kind of delegating and whatnot, but
yeah,
what else?
I mean, something that always pops into my mind is having this like rolling 30, 60, 90 day plan, and I certainly didn't have that plan in place. I had a plan for my releases, and I think working with you taught me to work backwards from the goal. I don't know. It's a little while ago, but I don't think I was doing that then. And I think having the 30, 60, 90 day process, like framework in place, allowed me to release. My plan was to release a single a month every month this year, which hasn't happened for a couple of reasons. But without that framework, I wouldn't have been able to plan everything, to plan the strategy to make that happen.
There's a lot of moving parts to a song release strategy.
Yeah, I know. I'm super ambitious. So when I was like, right, I just do a song a month. That's it. I just do a song a month. And then I didn't really realize how much work it was involved in releasing a single a month. So I think life was just like, I think this might be a little bit too much for you. So like a couple of things happened where I didn't have a release in March and I had one in April, and then the May one got pushed back to June. But I kind of like, because I was releasing all the time, I also wanted to be writing and recording, and then I realized I couldn't do everything when I want to do everything. So yeah, that was just a learning experience, really.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's about learning what you can.
Yeah, exactly. What you can do and what you can't do as one man. Like, I forget that I'm only one person. However many hours I work, you know.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to be working all the time, right? You need to recover, recuperate, restore.
Yeah, recharge. I mean, I do like working, and I do like everything I do. But yeah, having a couple of days off here and there is nice. And I can just play the guitar for fun instead of writing, or playing the guitar to achieve something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when it's, you know, it's the thing you love, right? And you don't want it to always become a chore to, you know, crank out some tune to finish to kind of fill a schedule that you actually have been over ambitious on. You know, it becomes
yeah. My dad said to me recently, he's like, you're trying to fit too much. He's like, you're trying to fit your tasks to your time rather than the time to the task. Like, you're trying to do like 10 things in an hour when really you can do 3 things properly. I was like, yeah, but I want to get it all done. And it's that mindset, isn't it? Like, I'm still sort of in that mindset of like, well, the more I do, the better results I get. But I think it's about like doing the right actions, I think, rather than trying to do all the actions.
And finishing something.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Wait, we did talk about that.
I talk about it to everybody. I mean, you know, creatives are inherently brilliant at starting stuff.
Yeah. You got no. I couldn't tell you how many songs I've started. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, it's at least hundreds, if not more.
Yeah.
Because you get that exciting buzz, isn't there, of like, oh, starting a song, oh, this sounds really good, and then like doing the rough draft and then put it to one side and starting another one. In fact, I saw you do a social media post in this recently, instead of like going back to finish that one, you know.
But like you say, when the buzz goes out of it, you go next.
Yeah. Next.
What else is new, you know, and shiny?
Yeah, exactly. With a different chord progression, a different key.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about the practical stuff, which is great, because I know you're a practical can-do guy and you get things done when you put your mind to it, and that's great. So what was it that what was stopping you before? Was it just lack of knowledge, or was there other things that got in the way in terms of mindset, or, you know, the blocks, you know, we sometimes have? What kind of were things that flag you want to flag on that?
Notice. Yeah. I mean, I think just you can just sum up by saying the word fear, really. You know, like, I mean, maybe this time last year, maybe a bit long ago, like I was too afraid to plan a strategy in case I didn't achieve what I said I was going to achieve. And it wasn't like a conscious thing. I wasn't like, oh, I won't do this because I'm afraid I'll fail. Like, it was all unconscious. And then, like, in the process of the year and working with you and looking at different strategies and like going inside and working out what the fuck has been going on for me for quite a long time, I was like, it's just fear that people won't listen to it, fear that I won't make any money out of it, fear that I won't achieve what I want to achieve. And it's just like, God, what? Like, that's just held me back for so long, you know?
And it is absolutely normal that happens, but to bring awareness to it and to understand that, you know, that is happening. You know, I mean, we can always distance ourselves away from what we think, you know, we can justify what we are doing against what we know we really want to do and what we should be doing. I use the word advisedly, but, you know, we've said we really want this, and yet we're finding all the excuses not to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, exactly. What's up with that, right?
But it's like the push-pull, isn't it? Like, I just finished the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within weekend. He's like, you know, if your conscious mind is saying you want to go this way, but your subconscious mind is afraid, you're always going to get that push-pull until you change it, or until you figure out the subconscious stuff. Which is what I was having. You know, I still have, of course, but because it's conscious, I can be like, oh, why am I doing this? And it's like, well, one, I don't really want to have to like contact 200 or 300 or 400 Spotify playlists, but part of it's like, well, what if I contact 400 and no one replies? And it's like, well, But now I'm like, well, the plan is to contact 400. So put your headphones on, find some music you love, and contact those 400 playlists, and then let the universe. And then stop, like, because I'm always like trying to control life. Like, I want it to be like this, I want it to be like that. And it's like, well, sometimes you have to do all the work and then just let life, let it breathe.
Always.
Wait.
But so the thing is, right, why have to put 400 as a number on it? Why not just do 4 and then do another 4?
Yeah, that's a mindset thing, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. But I've become really, really interested in percentages. It's like, well, if I apply to 400 and 10% is successful, or no, if 1% is successful, you see what I mean?
Okay, I'm going into coaching mode. So what if?
Go.
What if?
Yeah.
The fact that you've put 400 on it makes it such a big obstacle that it's so big a job that you always avoid it and never do any.
Yeah, I haven't done that, but I know what you mean.
And so the fact that we've gone 400, it's like typical. It's all or nothing, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So again, same behaviors come through time and again. It's like, it's either I'm doing it full pelt, 100 miles an hour all the time, forever, or I'm doing nothing. It's the balance between those 2 points. There will be a happy medium. The problem is that a happy medium sounds really boring.
Yeah, it does. I like going full pelt, but it's not sustainable, is it?
No.
I really wish like really big stars would, like, although some people do it. Like, I want to know what their schedule looks like. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very easy to look at big artists and think, oh, all they're doing from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep is working on music. Obviously, that's not the case. And also, even if it is the case, that's not a healthy, holistic way to live.
There's so many ways of being in that world, and look, not everybody's at that chart topping level or global stardom or whatever. And what I want to do is make sure that people get to a point where they can earn a decent living, and if that's on the cards for them, if that's what they're going to head for, then great. But there's a world of difference. Again, that all or nothing thing. There's a world of difference between starving artist, struggling musician, and earning a living from your music, right? It doesn't have to be, if I can't be a star, a household name, I'm not bothering. There is value, massive value in you being a creative in the world. And therefore you should be paid for that. But finding how to do that, and especially, it's been really tough, and I'm not saying this is easy at all, but it's made easier by applying some of the energy that you have to those business skills to at least set yourself up for success rather than failure.
Yeah, setting yourself up for success. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what's been the transformation? Where are you now, and have you overcome some of those things you were frustrated with?
Yeah, definitely. The result or the outcome is that I now plan everything. I plan is like, this is what I want. This, I've planned loads of things this year with the singles that I've released, and the numbers haven't happened. But as I've gone on, as I've done it more and more and more, I'm like, well, why we're also like, I'm so obsessed with like being right and getting the right number and saying, sell whatever 50 or 100 copies of the single, or have 1,000 plays week one. And it's like, well, sometimes I succeed and sometimes I fail, but all the time I'm learning. And if we hadn't done our work together, I wouldn't have like been so formalized, like with the plan of like, it was just like 30, 60, 90. You're like, you need to know what's going to happen in this time, what's going to happen this time, what's going to happen this time. Write it down, make a plan, put it on a spreadsheet. And there was like, I'm sure you realize there was resistance to doing that, because I was like, yeah, but I just want to make the music and record it, and all that stuff that I'm sure lots of people say. Which is great, obviously, to have that much passion, but having a strategy and executing the strategy is what I've learned. Even if you fail, because there's no failing, is there? It's just learning.
It's feedback, right? So, like feedback. if you've got the plan and you've stuck to the plan, you know, the plan doesn't need, you know, it might not be right, it might be other things could have been better, but at least you've got data. You know what's what and what's not. And then you've got the business intelligence, I mean that in a military sense, like intel, to then apply and then go, okay, that particular post or that particular song did really, really well and lots better than these. So what was it about that? What's the difference? You know, how can I replicate more of the things that work and less of the things that don't?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, quite. And then that's what I was thinking before you said it. It's like, well, this is working, do more of that. This isn't working, do less of that. You know, focus I think it helped me. You're working with you helped me to like focus the energy as well, rather than just being like all these disparate parts. I'm thinking about social media specifically, but it was true of other parts of the music business. It was like, well, I'm doing like doing Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Clapper, TikTok, Twitter, you know, and now I'm like, and before we met, I watched a webinar, and the woman on there was like, she was like, just do 2 or 3 social media channels really well. I was like, no, I'll do 7. Did I do 7 well? No, of course I didn't. And working with you also made me realize it's like there like when I get my ego out of the way, there are people that know a lot more about this stuff than I do, and I need to model them and copy them rather than, because I always want to do it my own way, right? I'm an individual, I always want to find my own way, but there's also, it's important to be like, this person knows more than me, they give me this information, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to test it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, sometimes we have to try all the wrong ways before we find the right ones.
Yeah, sometimes.
I've been guilty of that a bit. Yeah. So the other thing that I notice with people is just the fact that you have a plan, you're following it, gives you more confidence in what you're doing. Have you found that? Do you feel better about doing it? You know, not that frustration isn't there, and you feel better. I know this is a leading question, but you know,
I was thinking it is a leading question, but it's funny because I'm looking at my plan for the new single, which comes out last Friday of this month, which is the 25th of June. And there's I don't feel any sort of anxiety, or there's a plan, like I've got the plan, stick to the plan, do the plan. But that's why it's so good to have it all written out, because my mind, even as I said that, my mum's like, yeah, but you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do blogs, or you're not going to do radio, or you're not going to do and I think our mind's always trying to like lead us, or my mind's always like trying to lead me off to like, what about this, what about this, what about this shiny object. I think having a plan and just to keep coming back to the plan, whatever my mind decides to do, it's incredibly useful, incredibly helpful.
Yeah, I know it sounds really obvious, but the amount of people who never do it and then wonder why, they don't know what went wrong or why it didn't work. And this is the point I was trying to make was what people tell me is the fact that they just feel like once it's out of their head, they can stop worrying about it because it's in the plan. And then you just follow the plan, right? And you can change the plan. The plan is not like set in stone, but you know, at least then you can refine it or adjust it, change tack, whatever's needed, you know, in the moment, or the, you know, when something doesn't work quite well on certain things, you can make a change. So it's not like you have to commit forever, you know, to one thing, but it's about having things organized and coordinated so that you can do the right things at the right time. And don't drop a ball in terms of, oh, I needed to have that done by yesterday, and they're scrambling around trying to fix it. And you know,
it's a bit like having a social media plan that I now like schedule everything and just let it do its thing. Whereas before, I feel like at 6 p.m. be like, oh, it's time to post. What should I put up?
I know, that's just like tumbleweed in your mind, isn't it? It's like, oh my god.
Well, it is, yeah. It's just not very efficient either. So I spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes thinking about what I want to post, and will people like it? Won't people like it? Will they comment? Won't they comment? And all this like mind stuff, you know. I think that is another thing that I've learned, is that, you know, to make a decision, but then to like, what do I mean? Like make a decision and then like, right, I'm going to post this, and not worry so much about what the external reaction is going to be, and to do more of the stuff that I want to do from my heart. I think that would help people. That would help. Do you know what I mean? Because I speak to so many people that are doing what I just described in social media. It's like, well, look, you need a plan, and you need to kind of decide what you're going to offer, and then offer that, and not worry so much about how many likes it's going to get. You know, do you know what I mean? Like when I was doing social media last year, I was like, how many likes did it get? How many people commented? And now it's like, well, I still look at those things, but I do it more from a place of, well, I put out what I wanted to put out, and if people like it, great, and if they don't like it, great, and if they're indifferent, great, but at least I've done what I wanted to do that felt right. I think that's important, because it keeps you grounded, you know, rather than be like, oh, it has to get 40 likes, 50 likes, however many likes, you know.
Well, you know, there are certain things like algorithms that get in the way of all that, but it is trying to play the game in the right way so that you get more exposure, and you know, you figure out what works, not just for your audience who you know need to be targeting, but also on the platforms. You know, there's different ways of working them. So yeah, it's a bit of a minefield, and they keep changing the things as well. They
keep changing it, and like we're drowning in information, aren't we? The algorithm does this, the algorithm does that. Post here, post there, and it's like it's really hard to like get the wisdom from the information. I think that's challenging for people, because it's just so easy. You know, you could lose like months trying to find out the best strategy for Instagram. Whereas if you just pick, this is what I've learned, if you just pick one, even if it's not the right one, you're going to find out it's not the right one quicker than if you don't pick anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So what's happening now with you? Where are you with your music? Where can we find you? You know,
3 places. So my Instagram handle is /KeatsOfficial. My website is www.keatsofficial.com, and you can find me on Spotify. It's Keats, but with a full stop afterwards, because then you get me. I release a single called The Real You on Friday the 25th of June, which is a song I wrote in 2015 after, it was a really interesting process. It was after the end of a relationship, which I know we've heard 1,000 songs about the end of relationships, but it was like the longer I worked on it, the longer I spent writing on it, it was actually about, like finding out who I am and finding out all the things that I'd been missing from my life and the things I could have given myself. So it's really a song of self-discovery, which I didn't realize when I was writing it or when I was recording it. But when I decided to release it, I was like, oh, it's not really about the end of a relationship. That was just the catalyst for me to go inside. So I'm very excited. About releasing music. I love releasing new music, songs that people haven't heard in specific form to a group of people. You know. That's why I do. Why I do what I do. Really, that's why I record it.
Yeah. And you're still doing the guitar lessons and teaching.
Yeah, still doing music coaching. Yeah, still doing the ukulele and the guitar and the bass and the piano. Yeah.
Oh, all of the instruments.
yeah, all of the above. I heard someone say once, they were like, you know, everyone is an expert compared to someone else who knows less than them, right?
Yeah.
And I hadn't really thought about that, and then I kept getting asked questions from people about, you know, about music, about things in life, and I was like, oh, hold on, I'm an expert. You know, you're always an expert compared to someone else, because people are like, oh, I don't know enough. I'm like, yeah, you do. When you have to teach someone it, you know, you find out what you know. So yeah,
it's rewarding as well. Good. Well, it's been lovely to catch up with you, and thank you for sharing some of your experience. As a final thing, what would you recommend to somebody who is thinking about coaching?
Just do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. What I've learned in the last year is that having a coach makes you accountable. Just get a coach who knows what they're doing, and just do it. You won't regret it. I don't see how you could regret it. Yeah. Go and see Jack. Get your music business sorted. That is what I say. Do it.
That's great. Thanks.
Do it.
A pleasure to catch up with you, as always. And good luck with the release of the single. I can't wait to hear it. Send me a link.
I will.
And we'll see you on all the aforementioned platforms.
You will, absolutely. Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks.